Hi there, I'm Sinister One. I'm going to be telling you guys about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time Wrong Warp on the SNES. Console verified earlier today. I'm going to hopefully be able to do that again tonight, but before I do that, I want to explain to you guys what exactly has been discovered, who was involved, and how it all came to be. So it's going to be a little bit of story time. I'll try to keep it brief, but y'all know how much I like to talk, so we'll see. So basically what you're going to see happen is the turtles are going to be in stage 4, the Technodrome, which is a stage that you play through the level, you get to the end, there's two bosses, Toka and Razar, that you fight, and then you go into an elevator, and then you kind of have to fight enemies on each different floor as you go up the elevator, and then you get to Shredder, you fight Shredder for the first time. So what happens is, instead of doing all that, you go about halfway through the first part of the stage, and then all of a sudden your turtles just go off screen and you magically appear at Shredder. So you skip more than half of the level. And for a long time, nobody was able to really verify that this was a real thing. The reason it even came up in the first place was, I remember somebody in my stream chat came in once back when I was doing attempts on Turtles 4 years ago, and they said something about, oh, hey, I remember when I was a kid, me and my friend were playing the game, and then all of a sudden we warped to Shredder, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's cool. And I was like, could you maybe give me a little more detail on that? Could you send me a PM? So the guy actually went ahead and he sent me a PM, which I haven't really had the time to locate, I'm sorry, but the gist of it was, he said, we were in stage 4, we're in the Technodrome, and we were fighting, we were around toward the early part of the stage, and then all of a sudden both of our turtles, they just walked off screen, and we were warped to Shredder, and then the game continued from there, and some other things, and so at that point you kind of take it with a grain of salt. You're like, okay, well, that's interesting, I wonder if that's something that could happen. And then not shortly after that, somebody else came in and said that hey, the same thing happened for me. They didn't say that exactly, because they didn't know about the other person that had said this, but they posted in the SDA forum, and let me go ahead and read that post for you real quick. And you haven't missed very much at all, McHazard, so it's fine, don't worry about it. So this guy, Zerlian, he posts and says, I've been thinking about posting here since a few years ago, but I've refrained from it due to not knowing if it would actually help or not. Basically, it's about a glitch I encountered about 15 years ago while playing TMNT 4 on my PAL SNES with a friend. I don't know how to recreate it. All I know is that it exists, and perhaps it could help any of you more experienced to figure it out. Before I go on, this post is January 12th, 2013, by the way. As I remember it, the glitch takes place in stage 4, same as the other guy said. The Technodrome, about halfway towards Toka and Razar. I vaguely remember it being in a screen with the Roadkill Rodneys. Now, I think what happened here was he mistook the Roadkill Rodneys for the Mousers. They're both kind of robotic enemies. And the Roadkill Rodneys are at the very beginning of the stage. They're like the first enemies that you encounter. And he said it was halfway through, so probably that's what he meant. He goes on to say, so I was playing like usual with my friend, and suddenly we lost control of our turtles, and they started to walk off screen like it was the end of a level. The screen faded to black, and then we ended up inside the elevator just like we had beaten Toka and Razar. We thought it was weird, but kept playing. We noticed another odd thing while riding the elevator. Player 2's turtle had changed its name to the same as Player 1 at the top of the screen, but still played the turtle he chose. After we beat the level and started stage 5, Prehistoric Turtle Source, we were both playing with the same turtle Player 1 had chosen. As I mentioned, I have no idea how this happened, and I have never had it happen again, and never seen anyone manage to duplicate the results, which makes me think that it's probably something that requires frame-perfect execution. I really do hope that you can figure out how all this is done, since 1, it would save quite a bit of time on stage 4, and 2, It would be a cool thing to show off at your charity marathons and quite possible to improve co-op runs by letting both players use the optimal turtle. Raph. I wish I could help you guys more with this since this game is one of my favorite games for the SNES. Good luck to you and Uyama. You're my favorite speedrunner. Love your commentaries and playing the Demon Rush. Will stay with me for years to come. That's a game made famous by Mike Uyama, the Demon Rush. So anyhow, so this was kind of verification for me. So what I did is, as soon as this guy posted this, I asked, hey, are you the same guy from my stream chat? And he was like, no, I didn't even know that somebody had told you about this before. So when two separate people talk about a glitch and it's like that similar, like a childhood memory, and it's like that similar, the chances that it really happened is like pretty high. So that got kind of exciting. I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. So I tried to, I think I posted it at taskvideos.org. I was like, hey, maybe there's this wrong warp, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cared. They were just like, whatever. Why don't you task the game yourself? Leave us alone. Wasn't very well received with the old TMNT4 community over at taskvideos.org. The TAS of TMNT4 is from like the early 2000s, by the way. It's very outdated. And for those of you that don't know, McHazard has announced plans to complete a new TAS of the game, so get excited about that. So, anyways, nothing happened for a while, except people found various credit warps and wrong warps in other games. Super Mario World, people saw stuff in that. Super Mario Brothers 3. I'm sure there's other games that I'm missing, but it kind of became a theme of people found a way of doing something crazy and having it, get you to the end of the game or get you to somewhere else or do whatever. I think Super Mario, what are the ones? Super Mario Land 2 is another one. So that theme kind of kept popping up, and it would always make me think back to this Turtles glitch that was told about, and I was like, man. And another thing that really made me believe in this glitch, besides the two people kind of corroborating the same story pretty much, was that I actually experienced something like this when I was a kid. So when I was young, a friend of mine and I would play Double Dragon 2 on the NES, and one time he did this glitch where he got stuck between, on stage 5 there's this train, he got stuck between two of the platforms and it kept bouncing him, and then at the bottom where the lives are shown, it glitched to this weird character, the same way if anybody's played Super Mario Brothers 1, if you get 99 lives in that game, it doesn't say 99, it glitches out to these weird characters. And I always remembered that, and I was like, man, how the hell did that happen? That must have been, there was something crazy that happened. But funny thing, somebody actually figured it out. So I'm going to show you guys real quick the Double Dragon 2. I know this seems like a little bit off topic, but I don't really care right now. I'm just rambling. Here we go. So I'm just going to show it. Alright, Double Dragon 2, Infinite Lives. Get hype. So yeah, you get on this thing, and these steams actually deal a little bit of damage, but it's less than 1. So you can see I have 0 lives, and I have 1 pixel of health left. And it has to be these exact conditions. You have to die to the steam, and you have to have 0 lives, and then you get trapped, and then see how I keep bouncing there? Bounce, 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 and then you can see my lives all of a sudden have gone to this strange thing there. So that's actually the infinite lives glitch in Double Dragon 2. And the only reason that I was ever able to find that was because somebody posted it on Game FAQs, which I don't know how the heck they figured it out, but they did. And so again, that was something else that it really made me believe it, because I had these people talking about, when I was a kid I played Turtles and this crazy thing happened, and I was like, I know, man, I know what you're talking about. It was just a different game. So anyways, what ended up happening is McHazard, as I mentioned before, he decided he wanted to start tassing this game. And we kind of had some discussions, privately about some things. And, I had mentioned to him offhand kind of about this wrong warp thing and, could it be possible? And I don't know how he found this video. I have no idea how he came across this video, but I'm about to show you guys what happens in the wrong warp. And this is possibly the greatest video ever because it's these two guys in German that are doing a Let's Play, okay? And this video is actually like 3 years old. That's the funny part. So this video has been on YouTube for a good 3 years. Nobody in the speedrunning community discovered it or knew about it. Somehow, McHazard finds this video, and it's got the glitch. And so he immediately sends it to me and starts, figuring out and deciphering what the hell happened. So I'm going to have to turn the volume down a little because I don't want you guys to get blown out here. Put it down pretty low. Hopefully that's not too loud. I want you guys to be able to hear these German dudes because they're freaking hilarious. But, okay. So, whoops. What did I do with it? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. So, as you can see, they're playing two-player. Now, this is German, so it could be, I don't know if this is the PAL version or not, because one of the guy in the forum thread, he also said that he was using the PAL version. So, this is on emulator. It's pretty evident from the footage to me, which also made me wonder, I don't know, it's PAL, it's emulator, is this really going to be a thing? But anyway, here we go. So, let's see what happens. They're in Technodrome. We got the Mousers.
Ich rechne, der kann nicht durchs Glas springen, oh mein Gott! Nein! Doch, Assis! Ja, oh mein Gott, ihr habt ihn umgebracht! Das finde ich nicht gut! Ja, nimm das! Ja, nimm super den! Ja! 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 Oh, wow, wir können Karate! Ja! Eier! Eier! Ja! Ja! Super Tritt gemacht! Hier! Das war so cool! Ja! Oh!
What? See you later, Technodrome. The elevator? No, we're not doing that.
Was? Was?
Ja!
Das sollte eigentlich gar nicht passieren.
Oh nein, nein, nein! In hell!
Oh no! What happened? We're going back to the beginning of the
Das ist
stage.
doch gut! Ja,
Was zur Hölle?
Was zur Hölle geht denn?
Haben wir das Spiel geglitscht?
No, we're not. Just kidding. We're still fighting Shredder. It's okay.
Was ist jetzt los?
We just had to get all our health back, and Raph's name had to change to Mike for some reason. So here, could you guys hear that? I really hope that you guys could you guys hear the German dudes? I didn't know if the volume was loud enough. I might need to replay it. Alright. Okay, so one more time. So this time I'm going to give you guys a bit of an explanation. It never stops being funny. Absolutely.
Oh my God!
Okay, so we're playing two-player mode.
Ja, oh mein Gott, ihr habt ihn umgebracht!
And
Das finde ich nicht
we're
gut!
fighting dudes,
Ja.
we're fighting dudes.
Ja, nimm super den! Ja!
And
Ja! Oh,
we need a Mouser.
Ja!
Come on, Mouser, you gotta be the guy. There he is, he's the last Mouser. Now, critical moment right here. What's gonna happen is you'll notice that both the turtles are pretty much in the same position. They're at least in the same vertical plane. They don't have to necessarily be on the same horizontal plane. And what happens is that the Mouser can actually grab onto or target both of the turtles at the same time. And you're going to see both turtles take damage from the Mouser. Even though he only grabs onto one of them, it's going to deal damage to both. So you'll see that here in a moment.
Ja, das war so cool.
So you can see Raph took damage there. He's down to 1 HP, even though he's not getting grabbed, and he's swinging. So, as McHazard explains, there is a 4-frame window before an attack forms a hitbox. So as Raph is doing a normal attack, there's a 4-frame window before the hitbox is actually formed. And what happens is there's some corruption that goes on in the ROM as when the Mouser is attacking both turtles and the hitbox hasn't been formed yet, and that's what somehow makes them walk off the screen. I wish I could give a better explanation of this, but we're still, and by we I mean McHazard, because he's the genius and I just sit here and talk on the internet. McHazard is still figuring out the very specifics of what is happening, because I think there's a little bit more to it. I did console verify this morning, and I am going to show you guys. I am going to play on console right now and show you guys that this can be done. And then maybe if we can do it a couple times, maybe I'll even practice some strats with it too. But as it so happens, if you do all that, this is the result.
Ja, oh, er hat dich gebissen. Ja, was machen wir denn jetzt?
Was
Wir
war
gehen
das
einfach
denn?
weg, so, wir haben keinen Bock mehr. Wir haben ja keinen Bock mehr haben zu kämpfen.
Was? Was?
Ja!
Das sollte eigentlich gar nicht passieren.
Oh nein, nein,
It's so good. Like, it's so good. This being in English, it wouldn't have been as good. I don't know
so
why,
cool.
but it's just...
Was zur Hölle?
Was zur Hölle geht jetzt?
Haben sie das
Explain
Spiel
it, dude.
geglitscht?
Oh, man.
Was ist jetzt?
Alright.
Was?
Okay. Okay.
Ja, ist los! Okay, es geht weiter! Oh mein Gott! Es geht aber
These
weiter!
guys go on. They
weiter.
do beat Shredder despite their suboptimal
Okay, wieso bin ich
play.
auf einmal...
Just to give credit, this is from the YouTube channel of the Keanu88, as in Keanu Reeves. Video is on his channel. If you want to see the full video, I suggest you check it out there. I actually downloaded it just to make this easier so I could show it on stream without any problems. So, what does this mean? What does this mean for speedrunning? I'm sure you guys have questions. I see some people asking questions in the chat, already asking, well, how much time is this going to save? So there's a couple things to think about. Number one, you have to have 2 players to do this. And luckily, in this game, you don't have to choose 2-player mode at the beginning of the game. So what I'm allowed to do is I can play as Raph all the way through to Technodrome, and then whenever I want in Technodrome, I can go ahead and have Don join the game. Now, the reason I'm going to use Don is because he has the second worst defense, meaning he'll take the most damage from enemies. Reason you want the second worst defense is because you have to kill off the second turtle. You can't play through the whole game with 2 turtles. That ain't happening. Even if you were good enough to do that, 2-player mode is much slower than 1-player mode, because in 2-player mode, you can't skip enemies, which is like the biggest time savings in this entire game, is that you're constantly skipping enemies. That's like most of the strategy revolves around that. So what you have to do is you want to have Don enter in Technodrome, preferably take 1 death before you do the glitch. So bring him on screen, because there's a ton of enemies, right? Bring him on screen. He dies once while Raph is cleaning up, taking care of business. Last Mouser comes out. You go ahead and do the glitch. Takes you straight to Shredder. During the Shredder fight, you just leave Don alone, let him take another death. And then Raph does the heavy lifting. He takes care of it. Don is down to 0 lives. You go into Prehistoric Turtlesaurus. And then immediately in the beginning of that stage, you have the guys that drop the boulders or the bombs or whatever they are. That deals a good amount of damage. And then you have the dinosaurs that run over the turtles, which also deals a lot of damage. So Don's going to die again. So this is costing you some time. You do have to waste some time to this. But overall, you're still gaining quite a bit of time, because the elevator itself probably takes a minute. You're skipping the whole elevator. And then you're skipping a few screens prior to the elevator as well. You're skipping the boss fight with Toka and Razar. So you're gaining over a minute here, maybe even over a minute and a half. I haven't calculated out the specifics exactly how much time you're saving, but it's a pretty huge time savings. The world record is basically free now. Like if somebody wanted to beat my 1922, they would just have to like be competent. I can't think right now, man. I've been working all day. I've been up since 7 a.m. they'd have to be competent in the game and be able to pull off the wrong warp. 2 players, 1 controller. So luckily for me, I'm the right man for the job. As many of you know, I've run not 1 but 2 games. Sorry, you can't see my fingers on the screen. 2 players, 1 controller. That would be Double Dragon 2: The Revenge, and also Rescue Rangers 2. I've run both of those games at a GDQ. 2 players, 1 player, 2 controllers. I can't speak. So it's going to be the same deal. So you can see I got my 2 SNES controllers right here. They're just kind of sandwiched together. I got them held together with rubber bands. This setup, I'm not very happy with it right now. It's not working out for me very well. I don't like it. It's not as good as like with the NES controllers. I don't know if the rubber bands just aren't tight enough or what the deal is, but for some reason, it's not the best. I'm rolling with it for right now because that's all I got, but hopefully I'm going to figure out something a little bit better. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look and see at some questions real quick, and then let's play the game. Let's play the game. That's what we're here to do. So let me go ahead and go back up to